Yeah, so it was not an easy job. Clearly, these 8 startups have been filtered through a long process. So quite obviously, they were all on par, right? So our job was not that easy, because if this was the first round, I'm sure the results would have had a larger standard deviation. Here the standard deviation was very, very, very small, so we had to be very precise in our... So that's the general comment. In simple language, in general, all of them were of a very high standard. And when I say high standard, it's on these criteria that we were given. They were all innovative ideas. Quite a lot of work has been done in terms of market research, the problem in the marketplace that they were going to address, and then the appropriate solution to the problem that had been identified and how to commercialize it. So this kind of thread was there throughout all the 8 proposals. Obviously, not all of them were equal. We have scored them, and then there are winners and there are people who have scored less. And these had to do primarily with things like, innovation is a subjective term, so some were more innovative than the rest. Go-to-market strategies, some were more advanced than others. And business feasibility and achievement to date, as we all clearly saw, some had progressed relatively further than the rest. So it was a very, very, I think, scientific marking scheme ultimately that resulted in the rankings. But in generic terms, we would say that they all scored well in each of these criteria. Just to refresh everybody's minds on what this criteria was. The first one was team diversity, commitment, passion. Second one was product innovation and achievement. Third one was business feasibility and achievement to date. And then finally go to market plan and achievement. So final comment, all of them scored high on each of these attributes, whereas when you drill down, then some did better than the rest. So obviously there are winners and people who have not made the first 3, but we have to emphasize the fact that they were on very, very precise calculations and judgment call on the judges. And I also say that there was all unanimity, even when we compared our notes. Quite pleasingly, we were all on the same page. We did not have to discuss a lot. Anything you want to add?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for everyone's effort, for the organizers and especially for the entrepreneurs. Anyone heard about a company called Akamai? Yes, so they are valued at about 50 billion, if not 100 billion, and they did not win MIT 100K, although they participated in the competition. So what I want to say is that everything you have here is just one point of validation. There's nothing more powerful than the market validation. So, and when you go securing that order, I think it's the most important part in actually manifesting your company. One of the things that one of the teachers at MIT taught us, they taught us 2 things. One, they said, you should get a partner with a steady source of income as an entrepreneur. And second was, cash flow is more important than your mother. And I know mothers are very important. So what I would say is that I think it's critical, market validation, cash flow, and also think also beyond the borders of that you are normally thinking, just maybe Sri Lanka. Maybe your technology has applicability in other country where you don't have such a strong technical talent.